What's up guys, welcome back to Memoria. Where we left off, we deactivated all these crystals, and now it's time to find the prince. Let's cut these shitty tentacles.
That puts an end to your little spectacle.
That's right.
Ow!
I suppose after all these years you've finally done it. You have defeated me.
Do you really think I spent the last 15 years thinking about nothing other than how to defeat you? You're even more vain than I thought.
I thought you wanted to outdo me.
I'm not here because of you. I'm here so my great deeds can go down in history.
What great deeds?
Don't even start.
As you wish. If words cannot injure you, take this.
Oh. Shit, tentacle porn.
I thought I would let you win. But if that doesn't matter to you, then I might as well just destroy you.
Freaking tentacle porn, man. How?
What do you think you're doing?
I don't know.
Think your paltry magic can touch me in any...
Yeah. Activate the crystal and pull the things up. Maybe. Or just do that, yeah, that works as well.
You have won.
Yes, I have.
You have defeated me.
Yep.
You've destroyed the greatest temple the world has ever seen.
It's your fault though, you started
Death
it.
will now rain down on the troops. No one will survive to tell of your terrible deed. Soon, none of what you've done will count for anything. You must be proud of yourself, for you have won. You've defeated me. Only no one will remember.
Wow. So I guess you died there? Probably not. Oh, I can... Of course I'm not dead. The hell is that? On the right.
He's here.
Flippin', who's where?
Help!
Come on, what are you doing? Lift up the shield somehow. Hey, why can't I use magic? Hey! Alright.
I'm wounded. Please, help me.
I have to treat her wounds.
Since when? Well, that's where the bandage comes in.
The bandage is all that I have.
That bandage was from the first video. Go away, go away, go away, go away, go away. Look at this, look at the tip of the tentacles, it's like dicks. It is like tentacle porn, isn't it? Nope, 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 you're turning to stone. You're gonna be turned to stone, motherfucker.
Quick, take my hand.
Who, what, no?
And then, suddenly,
Okay.
everything was quiet. It was as though Satinav had played a prank and stopped time. An almost endless moment in which Sadja and the Adept just stared at each other. He didn't understand that his rescuing hand was more terrible to her than 1,000 demon tentacles could have ever been. The final admission of her ghastly failure. Suddenly, Satinav snapped his fingers again, and life continued.
What about the staff? I want to know about that.
As he pulled her away, I heard her scream. "Leave me," she called. "Leave me. Take me back." And again, I can't leave him behind. Over and over, quieter and quieter, and ever farther away. It didn't take long, and they had disappeared. And that was that. I was right back where I started. Only one thing was different this time. This time, I was able to remember. Remember a princess who persevered in the face of the most impossible obstacles. It helped that the Gorian Desert is one of the most magical places known to this world. Several astral lines cross there, and I lay directly among them. I grew ever more powerful, and I practiced and practiced and practiced. After 400 years, I succeeded in refining my spell to the point where I finally found a way to permanently transform my body. I left the desert and set out for Draconia. I had to know what had happened to my princess after our separation. What happened to the only woman who was ever prepared to entrust her life to a shady, magical staff.
Chapter 8.
Sadja failed in the Gorian Desert.
Fi.
She had the mask, and she knew the name of the Djinn of Time.
I wouldn't be surprised if he just screams at me as well.
If the wearer of the mask speaks the name of the Djinn of Time, he can retrieve things past.
Help me! Help!
But Sadja
Hollering is
didn't
futile when you
waken the
can't
Djinn.
talk. If only I could draw
Why
attention
not?
some other way. I now know that they can see me and
She
hear me,
was
but it won't
devastated.
do them any good. They're too far away, but they do give me a good idea of where I am.
It's not all that hard. You just have to put the pieces together.
I can't reach it. How could I?
I wonder if Geron's awake yet. Geron? Geron, can you hear me? I think I've solved the riddle. It's a little complicated. There are so many little pieces. There's only one thing missing. And then we can finally complete the story. Then I'll ask the staff back. I promise. Can you do me one more favor first? Sadja's ruby has a crack. You need to repair it. Can you do that for me?
I think so.
Please, Geron. Repair the ruby.
No.
Thank you. And now let me try something. I pray to the gods that I'm not mistaken. Vedan faskedan, esplas te quatan, humurilor gras, ferogoran, hil bemutir gerol falan, yuntir quatan feluntir sodan. Geron? Are you still there? If so, then you should be able to cast the staff's first spell. Please give me a sign that it worked.
Sadia's spell doesn't work here. Sadia's spell... Sadia's...
What is that?
I was right. Thank you. Thank you, Geron. Oh, you're probably wondering where you are.
Kind of.
The staff created this place, a burial chamber of a mogul in the middle of the Andergastrian forest. Isn't that impressive?
Leave the mask and come to me.
He's here. I'll be right back.
Brighter. Brighter! When I get left behind again. Nuri. Sadia's spell doesn't... Sadia's...
The hell do I do now?
No, I'll leave it like... I'm cold. I wish someone would push me closer to the fire. Sadia's... Sadia's... No, I'll leave it like... No, I'll leave it... All I can hear is the crackle of... All I can hear is... As the stone over the scarab, so rules the scarab over the stone. I still don't understand.
Nope.
I now know that they can see me, but it won't do them. I'm not thirsty right now. The knife isn't magic. That doesn't need to be repaired. I can't send... Sadia's spell does... Sadia's... I'm not going to... I'll try to send Nuri a vision.
About what? Alright, do it.
I could send Nuri to the mountain, but what then?
Follow the river until you come here. Makes sense, right? Come on. Work, please work.
I can send Nuri to the mountain and then have her follow the course of the brook from there. But how would she know where to land?
Well, there's a fire. You could see the fire, right? I mean, it's...
That's it! I'll send Nuri to the mountain and then along the course of the brook until she reaches the fire. I hope it
Genius.
works.
She came from the other side.
Thank the gods. I'm starting to remember something. I know how I can transform myself back. All right, here we go. No, no, I'm too weak. The mask doesn't have enough power left to change me back. It was all
Damn it.
for nothing. Please don't fly. Please. I'm too weak. The mask.
Oh, we can use a power accumulator. That has power stored in it, right? Genius. Let's try it now. Yep.
Finally. Fahi, is everything all right?
Oh, yes. My stiff old bones haven't felt this young in ages.
Thanks, Nuri.
Who are you?
That doesn't matter now. Will you promise to wait for me here?
All right.
I'll be right back.
Into the burial chamber.
It's been 450 years since I, a talking staff with no memories, kindled the light in my prison and saw a strange woman who would change my life forever. Her story began in this chamber, and between these walls we will end it together. Marhaba, Geron. Welcome.
You were able to free yourself.
What does all this mean? Where are we?
Ask him.
Indeed. Ask me. You should know that I've waited a long time for this day, and would not like to wait much longer. But if you have a great many questions...
What's going to happen here?
So you still haven't figured out why I sent you my memories? Why you're here?
No.
I am here because Fahi promised to change Nuri back into a fairy if I helped him with a little riddle. No one said anything about ensouled magic staves, flying fortresses, and strange dreams.
Life is full of surprises, isn't it?
Ha!
You laugh, but I wouldn't have believed that one day someone would rescue me from my dungeon, that I was to climb mountains without legs and wrestle without arms with demons. I would have laughed if someone had told me a princess will appear to you and, despite your strange form, show you the greatest wonders of the world. Oh, how I would have laughed!
Okay, but that doesn't explain why we're here.
You know that Sadia and I were separated. Our golden time together came to an end. When I finally found a way to leave the Gorian desert, centuries had passed. I wanted to know if Sadia had done it, if she had become the great heroine she always wanted to be. I wanted to hear how her name was whispered in the streets in awe. Sadia al-Kabir, Sadia the Great, the heroine who once... But no one had ever heard of her. So I continued and expanded my search. I wanted to know what happened to her after our separation. I followed her trail back to Draconia. I found the Adept's journal and the Djinn of Times' mask. But Sadia's real fate remained a mystery to me. Finally, I met Fahi and asked him to bring me here. A man named Ulrich had taken her ruby from Draconia and brought it to Andergast. He sought the mask in order to bring back his deceased wife, but he found only the gemstone.
Is all this really important?
Why did you need the ruby? Why the mask? Why all of this?
I wanted to bring together all the relics surrounding Sadia's disappearance and finally understand what happened to her. At least I would know what happened to her. She deserved that. There was only one problem. I'm terrible at riddles. That's why I needed experts to help me, who could understand every detail, who could be prepared for today.
Prepared? To do what?
To be able to tell Sadia's tale to the end without making a mistake.
Does it matter how she died? She's dead. We can't change that.
You're wrong. You will determine what happened to her.
I don't understand.
The Garden of Oblivion, Geron. I read the journal to the end. After her return, Sadia went into the Garden of Oblivion and never came out again. Nothing that happens in the garden has actually happened until someone talks about it. Outside the garden.
And since Sadia has been forgotten since that day, her fate has never been told, and thus never completed.
I see.
If we tell the end of Sadia's adventures in the garden, then the story becomes true.
And if we're mistaken...
Satinav's invisible hand will punish us for our sacrilege.
I think I've explained enough about our wondrous meeting.
Are you ready, Geron?
Just a moment. What's Fahi's role in all this?
Fahi is a man of many talents. He has a feeling for tales, and he's good at solving riddles. In addition, he had a wagon and a tent in which I could hide on my long journey. He is helping me solve the riddle, and in return...
So he's actually harmless.
Fahi is the most harmless man I've ever met in my 3,000 years. I was sorry to petrify him, but it was the only way to save him from your fellow citizens.
What about the inscription on the burial chamber?
You mean the stone and the scarab? Fahi believes that the inscription is the key to everything. But as apt as his intuition may be, in this case he's mistaken. The riddle is apparently only a strange jotting on the margins, a random blemish on an otherwise monumental painting. There's nothing else to say about it. Satya was taken to the burial chamber to read trivial inscriptions, and, as proud as she was, she refused, that's all.
Why are you here, Brider? Sadia's story doesn't have anything to do with you.
Geron, there's nothing left for me here. I'm a deserter. My own comrades are hunting me. This is my only refuge. Please, even if you still don't understand, let me bring it to an end.
I'm sure everything will be fine again.
The world will never be as fine as it once was.
What if one of us ends Sadia's story and is wrong?
If Satinav learns that the tale we tell can't possibly be true, then he'll make it unhappen and declare the teller guilty of sacrilege.
Don't worry, Geron. We won't make a mistake. I've thought everything through very carefully.
At the waterfall, you promised to change Nuri back to her old form.
And I will, but first, we must complete Sadja's story.
All right.
Then put the mask on the bust of my old master and let us begin.
Okay. Let's put on the mask.
Everything started with this thing. How can this story...
Well,
that won't do any good.
how the hell do I put it on myself?
Looks like it can't be destroyed. Why?
Thank you, Geron.
Why did that? Why? What?
Are you ready now?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's get this over with.
Thank you, Geron.
Which of you will now step forward and tell the story to its end?
Not me.
If it's so important to you, then you finish it.
Thanks, Geron.
Very well. I'll now tell you of Sadja's passage into the garden, as it is written in the Adept's journal. Listen closely. At the end, you must tell me how the story ends. After her return from the battlefield, Sadja was only a shadow of herself. She had seen the horrors of the Nether Hells, an ocean of destruction and death. She was the only survivor, but the rest of the world did not care. Sadja's great dream had failed. She wandered the halls of Draconia like a ghost. She didn't eat, and she only slept when exhaustion forced her to. On the fourth day, a young adept saw her at the threshold to the portal. He asked her where she was going. It was cold in the mountains, and she could have become lost, whereupon she answered,
I'm going to the garden to break my being.
The boy immediately ran to the air adept, but help arrived too late. When they entered the garden, all that they found was the mask and Sadja's ruby next to it. There was no sign of her. Out of fear of challenging Satinav, it was decided that they would forget the incident. No one was allowed to speculate about what had happened on that day. The mask and the ruby were taken to Draconia. The garden was sealed, and Sadja's fate was forgotten. Until today. Are you sure you don't want to finish the tale, Geron?
I'm pretty sure.
I'm sure.
Then I'll do it. Sadja entered the garden. She had the mask, and she remembered the name of the Djinn of Time. She had come to destroy her consciousness. And there was only one way to do that.
Shoot herself.
She took the mask, read the magic spell inside, put it on, and destroyed her memory. Then she disappeared into the depths of the garden like a soulless waif and was never seen again.
It is done. I had always hoped it would be otherwise. But I was mistaken.
Are you crying?
Of course I'm crying. My princess just died.
Oh, well, I guess that's it then. That was the end just now, wasn't it?
Yes.
No.
No?
Since Sadia used the mask, her memories are now in the mask. And thus, the true name of the Djinn of Time.
What are you doing?
Fadan feskadan es blastequatan, umrir lorgras ferel goran. Hil bemotir kerul felan, juntir katan filontir sodan. Nijetime ta fod imano iuti veda.
What the hell?
I've been awakened.
The Djinn of Time.
Tell me, child, what is your wish?
I'm sorry, Garon, but there's nothing left for me in this time. As if there had ever been anything for me here. There are no heroic princesses, no ancient tombs, no flying fortresses. Only endless honor guards, latrine duty, one triviality after another. When was the Golden Age lost? When princesses still dreamed of battles and the world was filled with magic. I wish it was all as it used to be.
Your wish is my command.
Really? That's your wish?
Bryda.
The girl is now gone. Her longing now rules over her existence.
What?
It is my task to fulfill that longing. To extinguish the grey present and bring the past to life again.
What is happening? It can't end like this.
Oh no. The forest is starting to change. What did she do?
Garon, come quickly. Garon, I've been thinking.
That's nice, but it won't help us any. Bryda told Sadia's story to the end. She had Sadia put on the mask and draw out all her memories in the Garden of Oblivion, so that everything has now happened exactly like that. And she read out Sadia's memories with the ruby. I mean, Bryda did that. And now she's possessed by the Djinn of Time. And
Calm yourself, Garon.
I'm supposed to calm down? We have to do something.
You're right. And we can only do something if we prove that Bryda was wrong, that Sadia did not put on the mask. You forget that there's still a part of the riddle we have not solved.
The scarab? As if a pointless riddle could save us all.
Do you have a better idea? Look around. We're in a copy of the burial chamber. Perhaps you'll find the crucial clue somewhere. Bring it to me, and perhaps we can solve the riddle once and for all.
Okay. Okay.
I'm not thirsty, right? First, I have to save the present. Then they're too far away, but they do give me a good idea. First, I have to save. All I can hear is the as the stone. I still don't. Whatever happens.
I will. Flying is fun, but so exhausting.
No, I'll leave it like.
What is this? Oh, the ruby.
Not yet. The Djinn of Time would immediately tear me to pieces. I should show it to... All I found was the ruby.
Give it to me. Giacomo Nauta told me you were an amateur mage. Is that true?
Yeah, I can break things.
Well, I can also do a bit of magic. If I hold something in my hand, I can catch a glimpse of its past. That was the main reason the staff chose me as his companion, you see. Now, let's see what story this stone tells. Curious. When the ruby was found after Sadia's disappearance in the garden, it had a crack. And the reversal spell the Ore Adept had woven into it had vanished utterly. The mages had to reapply it completely. But there's more. I see a palace garden, and in it, 2 children.
This is a brooch from Mengbilla. My father gave it to me.
Oh, can I see?
There. And here, a ruby from the dwarf tunnels in the brazen sword.
It's so beautiful.
When I'm Caliph, I'll have all the treasures in Avestan gathered in my palace. Fazar will be more radiant than in the times of the great Moguls. My subjects will lie at my feet for all eternity.
You'll be a good ruler, Cassim. All the history books will tell of you.
Ha! Do you see the sign on my arm? It's the calligraphy of my sovereignty, the sign of my dynasty. The whole world will bow before this symbol. There are great times ahead of us, Sadia. Truly great times.
How does all this help
I
us?
see a prince and a princess playing together. He's trying to impress her. What could this mean?
So Sadia and the prince really were siblings?
Wait. There's more. Something's happening. A palace guard arrives.
Let me go!
You're so pathetic. Isn't that how you like to be treated? Like the dog that you are.
At least I have my own teeth.
You please me, Sadia, more than I had hoped.
The prince is tormenting the princess. The guard holds her tight. She's at his mercy. But why?
Maybe there was no reason, and she was punished unjustly.
They finally let her go. She remains alone in the courtyard.
Really? What are you doing? Are you tattooing yourself?
I'm writing my own dynasty.
Do you even know what the word means? Dynasty? You can't simply write greatness into your blood. You're either born with it or not.
I'll prove it to you.
Do you think you could ever be greater than I? You're amusing. Guards! Throw her back into the gutter where you found her. I'm done having my fun with her. Then fetch me a new girl.
Sadia wasn't a princess at all. She was only a poor girl from the streets.
So what?
I don't know, but...
What's so funny?
Don't you understand? The solution to the riddle. Sadia's words outside the burial chamber. It was so obvious all along.
I don't get it. I don't know.
I still don't understand.
Why was Sadia taken into the burial chamber by the group of heroes?
Because she was a princess. But she wasn't.
Yes, She merely claimed to be a princess, and as such, she was supposed to be able to decipher the ancient inscriptions.
But if she wasn't, how could she read it anyway?
You'll have to come up with the rest yourself.
Oh.
We were fooling ourselves. Now, go into the burial chamber and tell it to the Jinn. Then everything will be all right again.
Okay.
Ryder, or whoever you are, come out.
Why do you obstruct her wish? She's unhappy. She wishes to be back in a time where everything was still good. You, of all people, should understand that. But it no longer matters what you think. The ritual is almost complete. A new ancient kingdom will grow from the oak wood.
Not if I can prove that Bryder was wrong. And she was indeed wrong.
Satya went into the garden, she took the mask, and she spoke the incantation. So did it happen, and so shall it remain.
It will. Listen, let me start at the beginning. Satya entered the garden, she sat down and pulled out the mask. She looked into the mask. And spoke your name.
No. If she had awakened me, I would know about it. She didn't want my power. She wanted to destroy herself. That's why she read the incantation. And everything happened as it now is.
Wait, she looked into the mask and despaired in herself and her inability.
Why should she despair? She had my promise of blessed oblivion. All she had to do was read the incantation.
No.
She couldn't read. Come on. Oh, if she was a girl from the street, then I guess she couldn't read.
I'm sorry, Bryder, but Sadia wasn't as brilliant as you think. She felt persecuted and restless. She wanted to forget her own past and become someone else. She wasn't a princess, just a poor girl from the streets. And as such, she couldn't even read.
No.
Whoops.
Forgive me, Bryder.
That's that then. The riddle is finally solved.
No, it isn't.
Why such a long face, Charon?
Yes, my friend? What plagues you so?
Nothing. Why are you so happy anyway? Sadia's fate proved to be false. You don't know any more now than you did before.
Very true. Very true. But perhaps not.
Oh, forget it. I'm sick of riddles.
Yes. Leave the dear boy in peace, Halef. Fulfill his wish, and let's move on.
Yes, traveling is nice. I want to go to the sea.
Wait just a moment.
It's up to you, my friend. Do you want me to change her back?
But I can only restore her body, not her memories.
Here's the big choice. Alright. I'm gonna save the game here, so we can see both endings. Okay, this one first.
Leave her. Her new life as a raven seems to make her happy.
So be it.
And thus our time together is at an end.
Can I leave now too? I want to fly over the ocean.
Don't leave just yet. It's hard for me, but if you want to leave, then you can.
You still haven't told me who you are.
My name is Geron.
Hello, Geron. I am the Raven Nuri Dalinella Vanda, but you can call me Nuri.
Even if you've forgotten a lot, if you ever get tired of your travels, you'll always find a home with me.
That's nice. It is lovely to meet you, Geron.
Likewise. Farewell, Nuri.
See you later.
I guess this is it.
And thus ends the tale. Did you know that it would come to this? Oh, how can I know what you planned, and what was mere fortune? Until today, I would have sworn that the mask destroyed you. But that can't be. We know that now. Now, just so I don't make a mistake, there are only two possibilities as to what could have happened to you back then. The first, the more likely, has now proven to be false, which leaves only the second. I mustn't make a mistake.
Here we go. When Sadia entered the garden, she had the mask with her. But no ruby. Yet, when the mask was found, there was a ruby beside it. Now, it may be that it was Sadia's ruby that was thrown into the garden earlier by the prince.
But what if it was another? Oh dear. Oh dear. There's no going back now.
Satinav! I say that there was not one, but two rubies. The real one was lost. The fake was taken from the garden by the mages and is now here in my hand.
Sadia couldn't read, but with my mask she could do magic.
She could turn plants to stone. She could turn people to stone. What is a ruby, if not just another stone?
There. And now to you, my dear. You descended into the deepest tombs, and you climbed the highest mountains. You danced with wind spirits and wrestled with demons. Abandoned by the gods, forgotten by time. Shahrazad, your time has finally come.
Right. This is it, huh? So let's try. What? Okay. I want to try the other ending. Change her back.
I fought so hard for it. I want everything to be the way it was.
So be it. It is done.
Nuri? Nuri, can you hear me?
What's going on? Who are you?
My name is Geron. How do you feel?
Strange. I'm cold. What happened?
Come to the fire and rest. Then I'll tell you everything. Who you are, where you come from, and what wonderful adventures the two of us have had.
Adventures?
It all began last autumn. Crows had attacked the royal palace, and King Everden asked me to come up with a way to stop the plague. My search led me to a strange cave near a waterfall.
And thus ends the tale.
Alright, I guess this is gonna be the same.
Did you... Now...
Alright, let's just keep it. Skip it. And...
Yeah, now.
Oh dear.
Satin... the... She... What?
Yep.
You descended in...
Well, it was a good game. I'm gonna check if there's actually a way to change the princess story, because if I chose Garen to tell the end of the princess story instead of Brida, maybe something will happen there. I don't know though. I'm not sure.
Thank you, Garen. Are you ready now?
Yes.
Let's get this over.
Thank you, Carol.
Which of you will now step forward?
I'll do it.
I'll do it.
Very well. I'll now tell you of Sadya's path. Listen. She had seen the horror.
Alright, we saw this
Sadya's
already.
She wandered the...
We saw this already.
It's now up to you, Garen, to finish her story. But remember, one mistake.
I know. Sadya entered the garden.
Never mind. I still get to choose my own thing. So yeah, it's the same thing. So anyway, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you enjoyed, like and favorite, and I'll see you in the next game. Bye.